But for one last time, it is time for my favorite segment this week in Shohei Ohtani news. He got himself a new one-year deal. We'll talk all about that. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. He won the team MVP. I'm going to learn a new Japanese word of the day. And for one final time, I'm going to explain just why Shohei Ohtani is the MVP. But let's start with that deal, avoiding arbitration, 1 year, $30 million for Shohei Ohtani, going from $5.5 million this year, which is criminal, but, I get it. But he finally got to the point where he can get paid. He's getting $30 million, which is the largest salary ever in history of baseball for an arbitration-eligible player. Now, that can get a little tricky in the understanding of what that means. But basically, Shohei Ohtani was not a free agent. He is a free agent after next season, meaning this was going to be his arbitration-eligible year. So basically what happened here with this deal is they just got it out of the way early. Instead of going to an arbitration hearing in January or whenever it is, they got the deal out of the way early. $30 million coming for Shohei. So arbitration in baseball is basically just a process through which numbers for the upcoming season are determined for players that are not yet eligible for free agency, but could not come to terms on a contract by a set deadline. So this is avoiding all the chaos that will be coming. The important thing here is Shohei Ohtani, who is the most valuable player in baseball, will finally be getting paid as such. Now, he'll be getting paid even more than that in a year or two from now. But for next year, he's not going to be making $5.5 million. He will be making $30 million. Bob Nightingale tweeted this. Ohtani's record contract is 11% above the previous record of $27 million by Mookie Betts. The $24.5 million raise also obliterates the arbitration increase of $9.6 million by Mets' Jacob deGrom. It's also the largest year increase of any player in history. If anybody deserves it, it's Shohei Ohtani. And he proved that again over the past week when he started on Thursday night, his final home start of the season for the Angels. I believe he's going to get one final start. But his final home start of the year, and it could not have gone better. I mean, the only way it could have gone any better is if he had completed the no-hitter, but he got pretty dang close. Almost 8 innings of no-hit ball. Ended up with 8 innings, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, not a single earned run, and his ERA is now down to 2.35 on the year. A 2.35 ERA after his last start. Shohei has 34 home runs, 94 RBIs, 11 stolen bases this season, and he's almost throwing no-hitters out on the mound. It is truly remarkable. It's his 6th game this season with 10 or more strikeouts and at least 1 RBI. 6th game, 10 or more strikeouts, at least 1 RBI. That ties 1965 Sandy Koufax for the most such games in a season since RBIs became official. Known slugger Sandy Koufax in there. Who knew? Also his 4th game this season with 10 or more strikeouts and multiple hits at the plate. Ties Dwight Gooden in 1985 for the most such games since at least 1901. More and more and more history. It is very important to soak in this history as we hear it, because there is history going on around the league. We know that, and it's easy to get caught up in that history, as we should. What Aaron Judge is doing, it is history. There are also people in front of him, so he's chasing more history. He's tied Roger Maris, hopefully passing. He's going to pass Roger Maris, but there are other people in front of him. It is important to note that people haven't done what Shohei Ohtani is doing. In the history of baseball, these records are his alone. To go out there and do what he did on the mound on Thursday night last week was truly remarkable. He won the Angels Team MVP award, which We could have seen that coming. He also was awarded the Nick Adenhart Award, which is for the team's best pitcher. Team MVP and best pitcher of the team. I can't say I'm surprised, but it's just every time he goes out there and accepts an award, he's accepting like 10 at a time. If you recall, I was there at Angel Stadium earlier in the year when Shohei got his MVP award. There were 12 awards sitting there on that table when he went out there and got them all. So he added even more to that mantle this week when he was named Team MVP and was the recipient of the Nick Adenhart Award, which is Pitcher of the Year. Both of those are voted on by his teammates, which is a cool little thing there as well. So more history, more unbelievable. I was watching that game on Thursday night, and it just started, he wraps up the entire world around his finger, the baseball world. You're either asleep or you're watching Shohei Ohtani. That's all there is to it. And they were playing the Oakland A's, and guess what? Everybody tuned in to watch that game because of what was going on. It was incredible. This is what Phil Nevin had to say on Shohei Ohtani. He's the best baseball player I think anybody has ever seen, to be honest. I really believe that all around. I don't think there's any argument you can make that he's not the best baseball player that's played the game. Pretty powerful words, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. It is special what we are seeing. It is special what we've seen for 2 years now. Last year, we saw the greatest baseball season of all time, and he was unanimously named the AL MVP. This year, he has gone out and one-upped that and proven again and made again the best season in the history of baseball. So before I get to my final closing MVP statement, if you will, I want to bring on my friend and translator extraordinaire, not only for me when I was in Japan, but also for Flippin Bats, all those subtitles you see. It's from Masa. So Masa joins me now live from Angel Stadium. Angel Stadium. He's sitting in the cafeteria now. Masa, thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. So let's, what is today's word that you have for me?
Today's word is 最優秀選手. It's kind of long.
最優秀
選手. Yeah, 最優秀選手.
Okay, what does that mean?
MVP, most valuable player.
You're dang right MVP. It does. That's right. MVP. 最優秀選手. Most valuable player. I like that one, Masa. You know how to end on a high note, my friend. The word of the day today, Sayusu Senshu, which means most valuable player. Masa, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it, as always, you joining me. And of course, and that leads to my final point here of why Shohei Ohtani is the most valuable player. I don't know if he's going to win the award. In fact, I do believe that Aaron Judge is probably going to be awarded the most valuable player this year. But he's not the most valuable player. He is having a historically great offensive year. There's no doubt about that. What Aaron Judge is doing is historic. We should all be celebrating it as much as we are. We should be. It is very special. But what Shohei Ohtani is doing is the most impressive thing that we have ever seen. He is the most talented baseball player of all time. We have never seen a talent like this in the history of the game. And like I said, last year, he put together the greatest season of all time. He one-upped that this year. Pitching-wise, he took it to a whole nother level. Offensively, a lot of the numbers are better. Is the home run total there of 46? No, not quite, but he's still in the top 5 in baseball in home runs. It's remarkable what he is doing. We have never and may never see another player like Shohei Ohtani ever again. We might, and it is possible, and it's because Shohei Ohtani has made it possible. But is it likely? No, it's not likely. But he has laid out the blueprint for somebody to do now what he is doing. I don't care if there's people out online that think I talk about this too much. To be fair, I don't care. We're going to look back in 50 years and remember being able to watch Shohei Ohtani play while he was playing. And it is important for me to talk about it as much as I can while it is happening, because I'm in the business of growing the game of baseball. I love this game, and what Shohei Ohtani is doing for this game can't be understated. It can't be. It is remarkable what he's doing for the game. It's remarkable what he is doing while playing the game. He's bringing new eyes to the game that have never seen it. He's making people care that haven't cared in forever. What he is doing for the game of baseball is special, and I will forever be appreciative of that. Babe Ruth said it himself. Babe Ruth is really the only other comparison that we have to Shohei Ohtani. He said it himself. He said it's not sustainable to be a rotation pitcher and a hitter every single day. It's not sustainable. It just isn't possible. So, who knows how long we're going to see this from Shohei? Who knows? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 15 years? I sure hope so, but we don't know. So we need to appreciate it while it's happening, because what he's doing right now, many would have considered impossible. It was impossible. It is no longer impossible because of what he is doing. This year has been remarkable. At one point this year, the Angels won 10 games in the span of 6 weeks. Think about that. 10 games in the span of 6 weeks. Shohei started 6 of those games on the mound. 6 of those 10 were started by him. He went 6-0 with a 0.45 ERA. Is the team very good? They weren't very good this year. But how can you get more valuable than the only time the team is winning is when you're on the mound? Sounds pretty valuable to me. In his last 6 starts, Shohei's 5-0 with an ERA under 1 and batting .327. So he's finishing on a very strong stretch. It is remarkable. He is 1 of 1. He's the first player in history with 10 wins on the mound and 30 or more home runs. He's on pace to be the only player ever to qualify for both pitching and batting crowns. He also leads the American League with an 11.91 K percentage, 2 or fewer runs in 21 of his 27 starts. This could go on and on and on. He also leads the majors in home to first time. You want to talk about speed? We can talk about speed. You want to talk about defense? He should probably win a Gold Glove on the mound for being the best fielding pitcher. Defensively, he's good. He's fast. He throws hard. He strikes people out. He hits hard. He does everything. He does everything, and he is the best player in the game of baseball, and he is the best ambassador for the game of baseball as well. I couldn't think of a more valuable player to the game of baseball. ERA, 2.35, 4th best in baseball. Strikeouts, 3rd best. K per 9, 1st best. Home runs, 4th in baseball. RBIs, 6th in baseball. Oh, guess what? RBIs, other teammates have to be on base. The Angels aren't very good. The fact that he's almost at 100 RBIs this year is remarkable. And 297 total bases, the 3rd best in baseball. The argument is simple. I don't know who's going to win the award, but the most valuable player in the game of baseball and the most valuable player of all time to baseball is Shohei Ohtani. And that is all that I have to say for this last regular season segment of This Week in Shohei Ohtani News.